from Talla.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. I know we're running a little bit late, and I will try to make this go a little bit quick. So Talla is a company that deploys artificial intelligence, in particular natural language processing, natural language understanding, like the previous people we just saw. In this case, we do it again for support and retrieval challenges, and in particular in cases where you need to have quick and accurate access to information. And so in this case, we see this in support use cases. So again, we see customer support, sales support, customer success, cases where we can leverage this information, this power to make reps faster at supporting, returning their requests, and to augment them so that we can get more done with fewer people. So just to give you a highlight of what a typical, there we go, it's a little bit of a delay. What a typical support workflow looks like, there's lots of places where things can go wrong. So you have a customer, the customer can't self-serve. They don't want to talk to a person, they want to find information, but they can't find it on your website because your information's out of date, it's not organized, or they have a very particular question. So they have to come in through one of many possible options. From there, it comes into a rep, it comes maybe into a ticketing system, or it comes directly to the rep. They have to create the ticket, they manage the ticket, they try to answer the request. Maybe they know the answer, they solve it, they go on their way, everybody's happy, but maybe they don't know, they're new, they haven't onboarded yet, or it's a complicated question they don't quite understand. There's back and forth, the agent has to get questions or ask another agent, they have to search their internal wikis, their internal knowledge bases to get the answers, they have to escalate. All of these can cause problems, they can cause delays, and that results in poor customer support. So what we do is we tackle all of these with our product to essentially try to increase the support productivity by decreasing those resolution times and in general increasing customer satisfaction. And we do this by doing the ticket, by reducing time it takes to resolve tickets, either through self-service, so you deflect, you don't even have to hit the ticketing system, or we get you quick answers so that you can get the answers to the people quickly and move on to the next case. We have a platform that provides a couple different options, and unlike, I would say, the previous speakers we saw, we actually provide a SaaS application that you buy and deploy. You give us your information, your content, your knowledge, and then we have a system, a SaaS application that you integrate with your tools so you can get up and running right away. So we broke this into three sort of pieces right now. We have a Knowledge Assist product, which is sort of how you manage and create your content and how we add additional NLU around your particular support content that you have from, say, your wikis, from your knowledge bases, from other content like PDFs. We take that and we organize it and we understand it so you can get better answers, more granular and specific answers. We have an assist product for the customers that you put on, say, your website for self-service products like you've seen other applications do. And then we have a support rep assist, which is for the user who is dealing with their questions. They can get answers to their questions. They can respond to them quickly. Key aspect and something that is key to what we do at Talla and with our product is we have continuous learning in everything that we have. So in this case, every interaction that happens through the product helps make Talla better and smarter. So if Talla, you ask the question and we know the answer, Talla gives you the answer, great, we're done, you can tell us if it was helpful or not, but if it was helpful and it was the right answer, that reinforces that information. If we don't know the answer, so we just don't have an answer, we can say, hey, I don't know, or we gave you something that doesn't look right. You can say, no, actually, that wasn't what I was looking for. I need more information. And so you can capture this. This gets passed on to a human. That human can then interact with this by adding that information in and responding back. By doing so, you've updated your content, and now Talla knows that answers. The next time that question gets asked, we've already got the answer. We can provide it to you. Yep, great. So one thing that we've discovered, I'd say that if the first real enemy of innovation adoption is apathy, the second one is behavior change. And so it's really important to find that you can use Talla in a variety of modalities depending on where you are and how you work, so you don't have to really restructure your process. So we have Talla, you can interact and ask questions of Talla within messaging platforms like Microsoft Teams or Slack. We have a web-based interface that you interact with and do a lot of the work in. We also have a Chrome plugin, which sits over Salesforce and Zendesk and other ticketing tools that interacts with them. We have an internal beacon, so you can put it on your website or in your external website. That you talk to as like a standard chat interface. And we have an external overlay which you can put in front of, say, a support request button or something to say, hey, before you file that ticket, maybe check to see if we know the answer. We've been deployed in a number of places, and I just wanted to highlight a couple of big successes we've had. So we are in deploy with SAP Concur, and they found that after a few months that Talla is giving 90% questions response time. I should say that 90% of all questions asked of Talla by the reps are responded with the correct answer on first interaction. So this means we've greatly reduced the number of time it takes for people to ask questions or to get those answers right away in the support case. In other cases, we work with Toast. In this case, we've already seen, after just a couple months of deployment with them, they're already estimating that we're going to save them over $2 million a year just in the time, the amount of requests that they are able to respond to with the number of people that they have. And so with that, we're going to switch over to a live demo of the various pieces that we have so you can kind of see what the product looks like. So first of all, I mentioned we have this knowledge assist sort of piece, and so a key part of this is where we store the knowledge. So where does your content live? So we have this interface with a basic sort of editor and viewer for your content. We structure it in this layout. Everything is sort of structured and combined together so that we don't, for instance, we don't give you pages back, we give you blocks of content back. In this content, we structure it up. We allow you to annotate it and give us information about key entities. We detect acronyms. We do a number of features where we can give additional context. We understand that things that live in pages are relative to the page they live in, such so that if you ask questions about content that might be in this block down here, we know that you're in the Creative Cloud block, and so that if you mention Creative Cloud, we'll get you here directly. So you have your knowledge, it's set up like this. Okay, so we want you to be able to understand your knowledge. How well is your knowledge base set up? Have you trained it sufficiently? How is it working? And so we give you this analytics dashboard so you can understand things like, have you, is your content good? You know, so one of the things we find with a lot of people is the health of content in your knowledge base. It's out of date. There's duplicate content. It's not formatted well. It's confusing. So we provide a lot of analytics around that information, as well as if you've actually provided some of the key features we need to know to give you a better response and better results. All right. So now that you've got your content in the system, I'll show you an example of the sort of customer-facing beacon. So this is an example of a basic chat interface that we have where you can see this on a website. This is just a demo. This is fully skinnable, so you can make it look like you want with your logo, your color scheme, all that good stuff. So we can ask a question. How do I access Photoshop offline? And here we see we get an answer. It's not an exact match, but we still got you the right answer. So do I need to be online to access my desktop apps? You get this information. You can expand it. You can do more information there. And then we can mark, is it helpful? Is it not helpful? Or do I want more requests? Now let's see what happens if we ask a question that we don't have an answer to. So how can I set up Bluetooth for Star Trek? I say, okay, I don't have that answer. Would you like me to get back with the content is added? So we can say yes. And so in this case, we could say, all right, now we jump over to our ticketing system. In this case, it's in Salesforce. Here's our question. We can see an example of our chat beacon works. So you have this beacon installed in Chrome. It detects where the question is. You can click on it. And then we have this modal that pops up. And then we say, okay, we basically went and did the search for you. Here it is. We found it in this case. We can click on it, and we can actually just dump it right into your response text box. Now, it's worth noting the user didn't find it on the customer-facing side, but the support rep did find it. So what's happening here is we can also segment your content by public and private-facing information. So you have information that you need as a rep to ask, but you don't necessarily want to give that all out to customers. And so you can have internal information, you can have external information, and you can segment it that way. And so we have this. Now, what happens if there's a question and there is no answer anywhere? So for instance, where is Mendix? So this is not in our knowledge base. We have no idea what this is, so we can request an answer. So doing this should now create an entry in what we sort of refer to as our content training or knowledge gap, which is, again, you don't know what you don't know. And so we capture the information when people are searching and they don't find the answer, we make sure we surface those to you as well. So here we can see, all right, this popped in, we've requested an answer, and so now we can see in this workflow, we can go in and we can type in the answer and we can say something like, okay, it's in the seaport. And by doing this, we've created new content. It adds to the system. We sort of have this way that your knowledge base is sort of this living entity. It's not just flat, dead content. It's getting updated. So as we've answered this, the next time someone comes in and asks, we will then return the answer. There we go. Thank you.
Okay, well, that concludes the demos and presentations, so thank you all so much for enjoying those.